In the top stories this evening, the IMF has recognized meaningful progress across tourism, energy and the financial sector in its latest assessment of the St. Kitts and Nevis economy. A World Food Programme mission is assessing school meals and nutrition initiatives in the Federation, and the Secretariat for Human Security and Well-being and community stakeholders are working to strengthen support for young people through Own Your Summer 2026. We have the details of these stories and more after the break.
This Mother's Day, get mom that wow to wear from Quartz Optical. Select frames from our 2026 collection with 50% off frames for her. And with our payment plans, you can style mom today and pay later. So come on in, find mom's wow so she can wear her wow with new frames from Quartz Optical. Value you can see. Offer valid from May 1st to May 31st, 2026. Conditions apply.
It's something that you can't put into words. A buzz in the air. From the time you wake up, you're ready to go. The freedom, the fantasy, the fete. To know it is to live it and love it. You have to experience it. If you know, you know. Angostura White Oak Rum. New look, same vibes inside.
Thank you for tuning into ZIZ's Major Newscast. I'm your presenter this evening, Ebony Brandon. The International Monetary Fund has recognized significant progress across several key sectors in its latest assessment of St. Kitts and Nevis's economy. Stay-over tourist arrivals have exceeded pre-pandemic levels, outperforming the Eastern Caribbean regional average. Delta, American, United, and Air Canada have all expanded or resumed services to the Federation. Over 778,000 cruise passengers arrived between October last year and April this year, up 8.4% over the previous year. Cruise homeporting is planned for late 2027. The Federation's renewable energy transition is also advancing. Geothermal drilling is set to begin in the second half of this year, and solar energy bidding is expected to commence shortly. The government is committed to 100% renewable electricity generation by 2030, backed by a $40 million loan from the Saudi Fund for Development of a New Transitional Plant. In the financial sector, banks have strengthened their capital positions, non-performing loans continue to fall, and credit growth remains robust. Legal reforms are planned to strengthen regulatory oversight, while the Development Bank is undergoing deeper structural reform. The IMF's overall assessment is one of cautious optimism. While the broader fiscal challenges remain, the IMF says the Federation is moving in the right direction and supports its Sustainable Island State agenda as the framework for building a more resilient and diversified economy. A technical mission from the World Food Programme is in St. Kitts and Nevis to assess the country's school meals and nutrition programs. The review is aimed at identifying gaps and opportunities to strengthen the effectiveness of school feeding initiatives across the Federation. The delegation also paid a courtesy call on Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew, where discussions centered on the link between nutrition, education, and government support for feeding programs. Latoya Matthew Duncan, Nutrition Surveillance Officer and focal point for the mission, emphasized the importance of the initiative in supporting student health and development.
This mission, the World Food Programme Technical Mission, it represents an important opportunity for the Federation to not only modernize, look at our national school meals program from a much wider angle, but also to assist us with identifying gaps, challenges, as well as looking at ways to address them. So I think this mission is so timely, as school nutrition in the Caribbean is really, well, let me say it's a big deal. And so I think it's a great vessel to look at nutrition interventions for St. Kitts, well, and Nevis overall.
A regional advisor for school-based programs at the World Food Program, Alessio O'Hara, said the mission is expected to produce a detailed assessment to help guide future action.
This is an observatory exercise. This is primarily a scoping exercise to begin with. So we'll be here visiting schools and facilities and meeting stakeholders from different areas. And the main outcome of this exercise will be a comprehensive analysis, a report that will contain actionable recommendations and set the path for the next steps.
In other news this evening, with summer fast approaching and concerns growing over youth violence and gang recruitment, the National Secretariat for Human Security and Well-being is pushing to mobilize communities before schools close for the holidays. On Wednesday, community leaders, youth advocates, camp organizers, faith-based groups, businesses and other stakeholders gathered at the Solid Waste Management Corporation conference room for a high-level consultation on the Own Your Summer 2026 initiative. The program, which targets young people between the ages of 13 and 20, is designed to create safe, structured and positive activities during the summer break, a period officials say can leave many young people vulnerable to negative influences. Acting Program Director Hans Richards warned that the country cannot afford to treat violence as only a policing issue, telling participants that the social and economic costs continue to grow. During the session, Mr. Richards shared sobering figures on the impact of homicides and gun violence in the Federation, including the cost to taxpayers for treating gunshot victims at the Joseph N. France General Hospital. He noted that a single gunshot case can cost well over $100,000 in medical treatment alone, with funerals for gun-related deaths over the last 2 decades exceeding $30 million, placing heavy pressure on national resources. But much of the discussion focused less on numbers and more on the conditions pushing young people toward violence. Participants spoke openly about idle time, family breakdown, poverty, lack of opportunity, peer pressure, and the growing normalization of violence in music, social media, and some communities. Others warned that many young people are desperately searching for a sense of belonging, guidance, and purpose. Throughout the consultation, stakeholders put forward ideas ranging from job attachments and skills training to sports programs, mentorship, after-school activities, community center expansion, and parent support initiatives. Eartha Carey, coordinator of the Secretariat, stressed that Own Your Summer is not intended to be just another youth program, but part of a wider national effort to intervene early, strengthening communities and help young people see a future beyond violence. The next community conversation on Own Your Summer 2026 is scheduled for Tuesday, May 12th at 5:30 p.m. at the Old Boys School on Victoria Road. Coming up after the break, the SKNFI is celebrating World Firefighters Day with events honoring the service and sacrifice of firefighters across St. Kitts and Nevis. And the TDC group hosted a workshop this week to help STEP participants strengthen their resume and interview skills. We have the details after the break.
Now loans, cash at the speed of life, so fast you won't believe it. Now loans, cash at the speed of life, right now, right now. If you need cash in a flash with now, no need to fuss, leave it to us. When you need cash in a flash, no need to fuss, leave it to us. Hear me now.
When life throws surprises your way, now's here to help. Whether it's for an urgent bill payment, home improvements, or unexpected health expenses, or even that last-minute holiday trip, with Now, you get cash in a flash, approved in just 24 hours.
Now loans, cash at the speed of life, so fast you won't believe it. Now loans, cash at the speed of life, right now, right now.
A loan product powered by National Bank.
At The Cable, we believe in giving back because when our community thrives, we all do. That's why, as a company, we make it our mission to touch the lives of everyone in St. Kitts. We spearheaded the renovation of JNF Hospital lobby to ensure better care for all. The Cable sponsors free Wi-Fi in every community center across St. Kitts, so no one is left behind in an increasingly connected world. We stand with communities through every moment, big or small, in culture, education, youth development, and and more. Y a ti también, comunidad latina. Cuenta con nosotros. Estamos con ustedes. And when it comes to customer service, we set the standard. We're just a call, click, or visit away because you matter to us. Join the company that truly cares. The Cable, more than service. We're family. Somos familia. And we're proud to always give more where it matters.
Looking for a new vehicle? Horsford's automotive division has exactly what you need. Reliable performance, modern design, and a team committed to getting you on the road with confidence. From everyday drives to exciting upgrades, quality and service come standard. Ready to refresh your home? Visit Ashley Furniture Home Store at Horsford's. Discover statement pieces, stylish accents, and comfort designed to elevate your space instantly. Planning a project? The Building Center provides premium paints mixed to perfection and expert guidance every step of the way. Bring your ideas to life with ease. Automotive, home style, building essentials, all in one trusted destination. Make it simple. Make it smart. Experience everything Horsford's has to offer today. Try Horsford's first.
Welcome back to our national developments. The St. Kitts and Nevis Fire and Rescue Services has expanded International Firefighters Day into a full week of activities as it joins global observances honoring the work of firefighters. Kent Fuentes spoke with Deputy Fire Chief Timothy Martin about the significance of the occasion.
International Firefighters Day celebration began on May 4th, 1999, following the death of 5 firefighters the previous year in the line of duty in Australia. Since then, it has been used as a day to recognize the contribution of the men and women in the service and to honor those who lost their lives in the line of duty. Acting Deputy Chief Martin says the goal of the week of activities is to shed light on the work being done by the SKNFRS.
We recognize as well that fire services is not so visible within the community, even though we try a number of things to be seen. Most persons, they only recognize the fire services when they are in danger, when they are in trouble, when they need our help. So we are trying to, in as much as possible, to bring an awareness to persons that, hey, the fire services are here. We are here to serve you. We're here to protect you. And you can call upon us at any time.
Mr. Martin believes persons in the Federation know of the role of firefighters, but not always the significance of the role they play.
I think people know the importance. However, how far that stretches leaves me second guessing at times. You would find that persons, let's use a business space for example, they run a business and maybe the type of business that they're doing, let's say for example a restaurant. A restaurant is vulnerable to fires. You can have the buildup of fires on your grill, your stove, etc. So persons now, they know a fire extinguisher is important, but to make the effort to go and get one, you might not find that quite often. And we now have to go and kind of nudge them ever so often. Hey, you need to get a fire extinguisher, it is important. So yes, I believe people know we are important. However, I think we can move away from being a reactive society to a more proactive society.
A significant role played by the Fire and Rescue Service, not seen by many, is that of keeping our sea and airport open to ensure our tourism product is not affected.
At the airport, we are at a category 9. This category allows for those big jets that we see coming to the airport to land. Once the category of the airport drops below a certain level, then those jets they cannot land here. So the airport fire services is a very critical component of this federation. Without the fire services, we won't be able to see those planes coming in. You won't be able to see those cruise ships coming in as well. So the fire services at the airport, like I said, is very critical.
He praised the work of the men and women in the SKN FRS for their dedication to the job despite operating in at times less than ideal situations.
When it comes to dedication, we have officers who are very dedicated and dedicated to the point of putting themselves in harm's way in order to get a job done. For example, a house fire is not an easy task. You have so many different variables when it comes to a house fire. Just to kind of educate a bit in terms of the different toxins. Now, imagine plastic gives off certain chemicals. You have refrigerants giving off another type of chemical, toxin. And a house fire is, you have all of these various things in the home. So it's not just an isolated item burning now. You have multiple things burning, giving off toxic fumes, etc. And we as firefighters are going into that structure to try to extinguish that structure, to try to minimize the damage done by the fire to the structure.
Deputy Chief Martin hopes for the St. Kitts and the Nevis Fire and Rescue Service a modern, effective unit that can deal with any situation they may face.
My hope for the fire services, it is to see the fire services grow and grow beyond how I met it 26 years ago. To have the fire services come to a point where, you know, it stands out above all entities. Because truth and in fact is, like I said, the job that these officers do is a thankless one. And that comes with the various tools that we need to enhance what we do. The tools we need in order to assist the Federation.
Kent Fuentes, ZIZ News.
In other developments this evening, the TDC group of companies hosted a resume writing and interview skills workshop this week for participants in the STEP program, as the company continues efforts to help job seekers improve their employment prospects. Chief Executive Officer of the TTC group of companies, Nick Menon, said the initiative is aimed at helping participants better position themselves for employment.
For sure. We can start with the global reasons where, you know, a strong economy in St. Kitts and Nevis is a strong TDC. We're looking for maximum benefits for as many people as possible, and we're looking for local participation in employment in St. Kitts and Nevis as well. We've always been very strong on that, and what we've found in recent times is that we are having a lot of applications, but the quality of applications and the quality of the follow-up interviews leave something to be desired.
Menon said preparation and presentation remain critical parts of the job application process. He encouraged participants to research companies before submitting applications or attending interviews.
I think and hope that's one of the critical components of the course today. To have a knee-jerk reaction to an employment opportunity where you're sending out a standard resume or you haven't done any work on the needs of the employer isn't something that's going to bring you success. Success is when you're well researched, you're informed, you can ask the right questions, and you can tailor an application according to the needs of that company. That's a difficult thing to do, but given what's available on the internet these days, just for example, on the TDC website, you can see departmental performances, you can analyze the value that you can potentially add to us as a company. And you can do so for many others. So preparation is everything, and to be in a situation, especially at interview, where you know something about the people who are interviewing you, and you can ask them questions which allows them to think that this person really is interested in this job. This person is really interested in adding value to what we're doing here. Could be a winning formula.
He also offered advice to young people entering the workforce for the first time. He urged them to seek guidance from teachers, professors, and business professionals when preparing resumes and interviewing for jobs.
I would always advise them, get some help. Get some assistance, either from your school teachers, your college professors, or somebody in business to assist you to get over that first hurdle. Again, that is the hardest hurdle. I had some opening remarks this morning where I said the only way I got over it was to volunteer. I came in and gave my time freely so people could see who I was and what I had to offer. And that was difficult when you have bills to pay, when you have bus fares to pay to get to a place of work. Not everybody can do that. So your resume, an attached letter, maybe showing and telling a story of who you are and why somebody would want you is going to be really critical.
The TDC CEO said the company hopes initiatives like this will help more local job seekers compete for opportunities in St. Kitts and Nevis. That wraps up our national developments this evening, but straight ahead in regional news, Venezuela has reaffirmed its claim to the Essequibo region during hearings at the International Court of Justice. And trade between Guyana and Brazil has climbed to past $1 billion. We have the details up next.
There are some things in life that are worth the extra mile. Seize the moment. Capture the experience.
Swipe your card, live your life. National Bank life is nice. You can spend it when you want it, how you like, where you like. Swipe your card, live your life. National Bank life is nice. Home or away, any time of the day. Credit or debit, right in your pocket. The National Bank card, so many benefits. Oh yeah, the choice is yours. Just come and embrace it.
Live your life your way with purchases big or small. Mango, nuts, breadfruit and all.
You can spend it when you want it, how you like, where you like. Swipe your card, live your life. National Bank life is nice.
At The Cable, we believe in giving back because when our community thrives, we all do. That's why, as a company, we make it our mission to touch the lives of everyone in St. Kitts. We spearheaded the renovation of JNF Hospital lobby to ensure better care for all. The Cable sponsors free Wi-Fi in every community center across St. Kitts, so no one is left behind in an increasingly connected world. We stand with communities through every moment, big or small, in culture, agriculture, education, youth development, and more. Y a ti también, comunidad latina. Cuenta con nosotros. Estamos con ustedes. And when it comes to customer service, we set the standard. We're just a call, click, or visit away because you matter to us. Join the company that truly cares. The Cable. More than service. We're family. Somos familia. And we're proud to always give more where it matters.
Now for a look at regional developments. Venezuela has reaffirmed its claim to the disputed Essequibo region during hearings before the International Court of Justice. Venezuela's representative Samuel Moncada told the court that Caracas rejects Guyana's position on the territory and does not accept the court's jurisdiction in the matter. He said Venezuela appeared before the court to respond to what he described as a misleading narrative from Guyana. The case was brought to the ICJ by Guyana in 2018, seeking confirmation that an 1899 arbitral award establishing the border between the two countries is legally valid. Venezuela has long rejected that ruling and continues to claim the resource-rich Essequibo region, which makes up about 2/3 of Guyana's territory. The court has already ruled that it has jurisdiction to hear the case, with oral arguments expected to continue into next week. The dispute continues under the framework of the 1966 Geneva Agreement, which calls for a peaceful resolution between the two countries. Trade between Guyana and Brazil has reached $1 billion, marking a sharp increase in economic activity between the two countries. The figure represents significant growth from just $58 million in 2020. Officials say the expansion has been driven by key sectors including energy, mining, and infrastructure. Guyana's exports to Brazil are led by crude oil, while Brazil continues to supply machinery and equipment for construction and resource development. The update comes ahead of a business forum set for May 11th, which will focus on expanding trade and investment between the two countries. The event is also expected to advance discussions on Guyana's engagement with the South American trade bloc, Mercosur. Coming up in our international developments this evening, concerns over political violence are growing in Kenya ahead of next year's elections, and local and regional elections in Britain could increase pressure on Prime Minister Keir Starmer. We have the details after this commercial break.
Trust in NCI, come to NCI, protect with NCI, only NCI, always here for you, always, NCI is here for you, always, whole life, term life, for your peace, healthcare, health plans, no worries, home shield coverage, you're safe, choose NCI to secure your space, life challenges will come your way, but NCI brightens your day, through your life's journey, we're here to stay, NCI will protect you all the way. NCI, come to NCI, protect with NCI, only NCI, always here for you, always, NCI is here for you, always.
Now for a look at this evening's international developments. A growing debate over political violence is dominating discussions in Kenya as the country moves closer to next year's general elections. The term goonism has emerged as a common phrase in the country's political landscape, used to describe gangs accused of intimidating political opponents. Supporters of President William Ruto say the government will not tolerate political violence. However, opposition figures claim the administration has benefited from the rise in lawlessness and aggressive campaign tactics. Religious leaders and civil society groups have also warned that the increase in political tension could threaten Kenya's democratic stability. During a recent sermon in the city of Mombasa, Pastor Wilfred Lai criticized leaders who use violence or intimidation to gain power, saying such actions cannot lead the country forward. The debate comes as President Ruto prepares for a re-election campaign ahead of national polls next year. In other news this evening, voters from across Britain are taking part in local and regional elections that could deal a major political blow to Prime Minister Keir Starmer. The polls will decide around 5,000 local council seats, several mayoral posts, and representation in the devolved parliaments of Scotland and Wales. The elections are the biggest since Labour's landslide victory in 2024, with opponents describing them as a midterm test of Starmer's leadership. Labour is defending thousands of seats in England, but party members fear heavy losses as public support for the Prime Minister continues to decline. Starmer has faced criticism over economic challenges, rising living costs and pressures on public services. His government has also faced controversy over the appointment of Peter Mandelson as Britain's ambassador to Washington. Political analysts say a poor performance could increase pressure from within Labour and raise questions about Starmer's long-term leadership of the party. Most results are expected to be declared on Friday. Coming up next in sports this evening, Old Road Jets have defeated Newtown United to maintain their unbeaten run in the Final Four, and the Caribbean Golf Association has admitted Bermuda and St. Lucia as full members. Stay tuned.
Trust in NCI, come to NCI, protect with NCI, only NCI. Always here for you, always. NCI is here for you, always. Whole life, term life for your peace. Healthcare, health plans, no worries. Home shield coverage, you're safe. Choose NCI to secure your space. Life challenges will come your way, but NCI brightens your day. Through your life's journey, we're here to stay. NCI will protect you all the way. Whole life, term life for your peace. Healthcare, health plans, no worries. Home shield coverage, you're safe. Choose NCI to secure your space. Trust in NCI, come to NCI, protect with NCI, only NCI. Always here for you, always. NCI is here for you, always.
Welcome back. We start sport this evening with the news that Old Road Jets have maintained their unbeaten run in the SKNFA Final Four with a 3-0 win over Newtown United. Playing their second match of the Final Four, Old Road were led by Tikwani Williams, who scored a hat-trick to make it 2 wins from 2. Williams opened the scoring in the 46th minute, adding a second 10 minutes later, and completed his hat-trick in the 90th minute. The result sends Old Road to the top of the Final Four table and puts them in a strong position to reach the finals. In the other match, Keon Rockets and St. Peter's played to a 1-1 draw. Keon took the lead in the 77th minute through Malik Hendrickson, but St. Peter's responded 5 minutes later with an equalizer from Rocco Brown. Both teams walk away with a point. In other sport developments, the Caribbean Golf Association has welcomed Bermuda and St. Lucia as its newest full members. The decision was approved unanimously during the association's annual general meeting in the Dominican Republic. Officials say both countries presented their vision for developing the sport and outlined how membership would benefit golf across the region. CGA President Sidney Wolfe said the addition of Bermuda and St. Lucia reflects the continued growth of golf in the Caribbean. The St. Lucia Golf Association said full membership will create new opportunities for players, particularly young golfers seeking greater regional exposure and competition. The Caribbean Golf Association currently hosts several regional championships each year, supporting the development of junior, amateur, and senior golfers across the region. That wraps up our sport developments. When we come back, we'll have another look at the stories that made headlines.
Yeah, man. Another day in the books. Well, hello there. Ooh, she pretty from head to toe, and are you ready to go? Wait there. Whew. Can't afford to slip up. Not even in my dreams.
Before we part, let's take another look at the top stories. The IMF has recognized meaningful progress across tourism, energy and the financial sector in its latest assessment of the St. Kitts and Nevis economy. A World Food Programme mission is assessing school meals and nutrition initiatives in the Federation, and the Secretariat for Human Security and Well-being and community stakeholders are working to strengthen support for young people through ONEO Summer 2026. Thank you for tuning in to ZIZ This Evening. I've been your presenter tonight, Ebony Brandon.